I'm coming to you this morning from the land of the Darug and Darkinjung people at Windsor, northwest of Sydney, where so many residents here are waking up to the prospect of having to undergo their fourth flood clean-up in just 18 months. As we go to air this morning, 57,000 people are subject to evacuation orders. The immediate threat here is receding, which is good news for local residents, but residents have also been warned water levels could continue to rise. The deluge that has swamped the Sydney Basin is now leaving a trail of destruction up the east coast. Heavy rain is pounding the Hunter Valley and mid-north coast. Last night, the small community of Broke, an hour outside of Newcastle, was completely cut off. Residents there and in nearby Bulga were ordered to immediately evacuate and move to high ground. This morning, the Prime Minister will meet flood-affected locals. He'll join us on the show a little later, but I want to bring in firstly our reporters Blake Doyle in Newcastle and Cecilia Connell at Pitt Town. Good morning to both of you. Blake, we'll start with you. What is the latest in the Hunter region?
Good morning, Michael. Well, as you say, the emergency has shifted well and truly north here to the Hunter Valley. The hotspot is Wollombi Brook and the towns of Bulga and Wollombi. Evacuation orders are in place for around 400 people who live in low-lying areas along that waterway. The Bureau of Meteorology is saying that this is actually the worst flooding in that area since the devastating flood of 1952. Property losses, well, we're not sure at this stage. We do know, and we've seen photos on social media, the Wollombi Tavern, a favourite watering hole in this neck of the woods, has been inundated. The other issue for this afternoon is the town of Singleton, where major flooding is expected. Wollombi Brook feeds into the Hunter River, which runs through the town of Singleton. It's expected to peak at around 13.6 metres this afternoon. Now, that's led to evacuation orders in small communities around Singleton. They include Whittingham, Scotts Flat, Glenridding, Dunolly and Combo. An evacuation centre has been set up at Singleton Heights Diggers.
And Blake, what's the situation on the Central Coast?
Again, huge rainfall totals. We've seen in the vicinity of 400 millimetres in the last 3 to 4 days, and that's led to issues in Tuggerah Lake and the communities who live and the people who live in the communities in the low-lying areas. Again, more evacuation orders around that lake. Those communities are the Entrance, Berkeley Vale, Chittaway Bay and Budgewoi. An evacuation centre has been set up at the Entrance Diggers. The Bureau is predicting another 20 to 40 millimetres of rain today. We're hoping that doesn't exacerbate the situation on the Central Coast and again here in the Hunter Valley. Michael?
Yeah, let's hope, fingers crossed. Blake, thank you. Cecilia Connell in Pitt Town, north of where I'm here in Windsor. What's the situation on the ground there?
Good morning, Michael. While the rain has definitely eased here in Pitt Town, it's only sprinkling lightly here at the moment. The emergency flood situation is far from over. There's still vast amounts of water across the landscape, covering roads, as you might be able to see behind me, and that's really impacting the initial flood recovery cleanups that some residents have started to get underway here in Pitt Town. I've just speaking to one local just before, and he said unfortunately he lost power yesterday, and that's hampering some of those initial recovery efforts. However, as the Hawkesbury River level does start to go down, communities along that river system, particularly around this part of the Sydney Basin, are still isolated. Supplies are being delivered by boat. So even though that rain has eased across Sydney, there's still a long way to go for communities here. Now, the Bureau of Meteorology says that rain is still forecast for the remainder of the week in this part of the world. However, they say it won't be as intense as the last few days. However, they're expecting that to pick up again over the weekend. So residents here in Pitt Town are just hoping to make use of this slight reprieve in the weather situation to count the costs of what has occurred here.